The smell of coffee is in the air. It must be time for another episode of The Art of Struggle. Welcome to another episode of my podcast called The Art of Struggle. You can hear me write about art, video games, movies, pop culture, CGI, the industry, and much, much more. My name is Fatai, and I'll be your guide as we explore the world of CG, pop culture, and the people who make it all possible. Alright, let's see what we're getting into today. Surprise, Los Angeles. It seems you're getting a new game studio. Riot devs net $2.5 million to help launch new LA studio called, drumroll please, Singularity 6. News slipped out today that there's a new game studio in Los Angeles, Singularity 6, founded by former Riot Games staffer Anthony Long and Aidan Carbake, with an eye towards creating genre-defining online games. Notably, the pair has secured $2.5 million in seed funding from London Venture Partners, which is reportedly the largest single investment the firm has ever made in a company. Perhaps most notably for game devs, Singularity 6 appears to be hiring. You can find further details on their website, and I think it's like a senior game engineer or something they're looking for. So I think they're looking to prototype some stuff and start talking real talk right now. So if you know any senior game programmers, there is a job out there for you right now. So they've only got one position available that I saw when I went on the website, but yeah. That's pretty cool news. New studios popping up, as many layoffs as we're seeing in the industry. This is a little bit of good news in that sense, where you've got, another studio, more jobs, will be created from this. So that's a plus. All right, so here is the big story for today. Here's my big thing today. I have this, okay, first, let me talk. Okay, so I got this shirt, and I don't know who gave it to me, but I want to send a shout out to whoever sent me the shirt. I don't even know. It's pretty cool. It's like some dudes with kufis on, so, and like African attire, so this is pretty dope. It's like the African week on here. It's like Black Week or something, but yeah, this is dope. So let's talk about Take-Two CEO. He's saying the U.S. government needs to take a stand on China's game trade. Take-Two Interactive chief Strauss Zelnick, speaking at a Goldman Sachs conference earlier this week, said, "Our government actually does need to take a position with regards to our trade with China because we have a completely odd and unequal situation. By the way, the other backdrop is China has been stealing our intellectual property for a really long time. Those things just have to change." So here is the worst thing I think about this is I think I agree with him a little bit, in the sense that, like, I hate that the current administration is going to be the one that has to step in, but I do think that, like, somebody needs to, because China will take our stuff, but then they'll come into America, and in the sense that they'll bring their games, publish it, get all the money for it, and then they take the proceeds back. But to get into China itself, there's so many regulations. Like, you have to have like half your company inside of China, crazy stuff like that. So I think there's like, it's a weird position to be in, but yeah, I think I do agree with that sentiment right there, that there could be a little more quid pro quo. I think that's the saying. I don't know. Somebody will correct me and tell me I'm stupid in the comments. So it's all good. Yeah, I think that, yeah. He said, we have a solid business, albeit a small business in China, Zelnick said, noting that the company operates free-to-play games like NBA 2K Online there, and plans to launch Kerbal Space Program on China's Wii game platform in the near future. I think they also have a interest, or they have like a partnership with Tencent Games, so that's something to think about. And Tencent is probably one of the biggest game studios or game companies in the world. So yeah, it's no secret that the Chinese government changed the venue for approving game titles and has basically slowed or shut down approvals for a period of time. That does not affect us because the games that we're bringing to the market are approved. Yeah, it doesn't affect you now until your game is going to be one of the ones approved. Some people in general are just so short-sighted in the sense that like, oh, it's not affecting me now because the games I'm making are approved. Well, the moment you cross them, you're going to be making the games that they don't approve. So yeah, that's another tangent, but yeah. He said, I wouldn't recommend you underwrite to one man's opinion on this topic because I could be completely wrong. We certainly do not underwrite to it. I just observe that the opportunity is huge if we move in that direction, and that the risk of being a little bit political, our government actually does need to take a position with regard to our trade with China, because we have completely odd and unequal situation where Chinese companies can come to the US and buy companies, no problem. And if they don't want to do that, they can bring a title here and market and distribute it, no problem, and keep all the proceeds. We, in order to go to China, have to have half of our business owned by a local company, he continued. The good news is that they provide expertise, which is great. And we have great relationships with companies like Tencent. We're thrilled to be in business with them, but we don't have a choice. To be clear, and furthermore, we need government approval, which is politically driven. So yeah, there's a lot to unpack there. There's a lot to really talk about, in the sense that, yeah, like, you have to jump through hoops on the other side, but when you come to America to market your games, everything's smooth and breezy. It's free market, but I don't know. I feel like just getting Trump involved will just make it worse somehow. So I don't want. Maybe wait for the next administration and hopefully they have more of a. But nothing. I'm not gonna get political or anything with this. So yeah, they're asking for help from the government. What do you guys think? Do you think the government should step in this sense and start doing some hardcore trade agreements, in the sense that, hey, you need to do this, you need to make it easier for us to do our games, or we're going to put the same things on you that you're putting on us, the same hoops we're having to jump through, you're going to have to jump through those hoops as well. So just tell me what you think. Do you think it's cool, good, bad? It isn't, it's going to be an interesting, long played out. China they've got crazy intellectual property issues as well. Like they're notorious for stealing intellectual property from America and then just making their own version and marketing it over there. So yeah. On that note, let's move to quote of the day. Let's do it. Today's quotes are from Mahatma Gandhi. He says, "When I admire the wonders of a sunset or the beauty of the moon, my soul expands in the worship of the Creator." He also said, "An eye for an eye only ends up making the whole world blind." Sometimes it's okay to forgive and forget people. Sometimes it's okay to forgive and forget. A nation's culture resides in the hearts and in the souls of its people. Let's find some good ones. He says the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. That's a similar sentiment that Tony Robbins shares, in the sense that he says he didn't think about making until he helped making any kind of profit. He said he focused so much on helping people that he felt like if he helped so many people, that his life would be better for helping people. So that's definitely a genuine approach to living life, where you're just in service to others, because that's what you should be anyway, is trying to help people every single day, with whatever your craft is trying to convey a message, or I don't know, maybe I'm just a foofy libtard or something, but yeah. Prayer is the key of the morning and the bolt of the evening. I want to thank you for listening to another episode of my podcast called The Art of Struggle. I want to remind you that you can catch any of these episodes on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. You can listen to any of them on Anchor, iTunes, Spotify, Radio Public, pretty much wherever you get your podcast.